हुई ना बात, कभी भी घुटने नहीं टेकेंगे ये टीम। आज रोमांच अपने चरम पे है और इतिहास को क्या मंजूर है ये शायद वक्त ही बताएगा।
It's time to change gears as we get started with the Super 5s of Season 3 of the RuPay Prime Volleyball League powered by A23. 4 teams in action. They play their opening game of the Super 5 stage and we can't wait to get started here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Indoor Stadium in Chennai. 9 teams started with this dream in their hearts. 5 remain. Over the next 7 days, we'll see 10 matches played out for teams to qualify for the knockouts, and then that one big dream shall come true. The air, the vibe, the mood here is different as we get started with the Super 5s. The energy is so different, Key, that even Louis went to the spa to get ready for the Super 5s.
We keep talking about glow-ups, and he had to get one of his own. Looking good, bro.
We haven't even needed lights in the studio because Louis is glowing. Now, 5 teams, all set for a big clash. The action is going to change gears. We get into 4th gear as we progress. Now, the first 2 teams that will be in action, the Bengaluru Torpedoes and the Delhi Toofans, the newest baby. Now, the reason these 2 teams are here is because they did better than the other 4 teams. Now, we've got to show you the points table to tell you what is in store for you. The teams that finished at 1 and 2 will start their campaigns with 2 and 1 points. Calicut finishing top of the table in the single round robin. And therefore, they have 2 points in the Super 5s, a bonus of 2 points. Delhi finishing at number 2, and therefore they get 1 point to kickstart their campaign. Now, before we go ahead, Louis and Kay, we've got to look back at what's been a frenetic single round robin stage. There was action every evening, and safe to say that the best 5 teams have gone through.
You say that now, but I think it was so impossible to call when we first started these matches. Every single team was bringing a little something. And I'm not sure. I also feel like Chennai maybe missed out just by a little bit. I would have loved to see them here, but the top 5s are looking very strong.
At the beginning, we were saying the defenders are going to win it. Then we're saying, oh, Chennai looks strong. Oh, look at the Torpedoes coming. And now it's Delhi. And I think that's the beauty of this league, isn't it? That it doesn't matter. It's so open. And that's what makes it so much fun. I feel sorry for Chennai, because I thought they were brilliant, but they just lacked a little bit of serving at the end.
You don't feel bad for Hyderabad or Kochi?
No.
First time.
I mean, they played some really good games.
That's rare for Louis to take sides and not sit on the fence, but we'll let you be. Right, Delhi won their last 5, but Bengaluru lost their last league game against Chennai, 3-0 in straight sets. Now, it was one of those occasions where Bangalore showed that this high-risk approach can backfire. Louis, is there reason for Bengaluru, as they go into the Super 5s, to sort of tweak it a little bit, maybe notch it down, be a little bit more circumspect, or just play the way they do?
I don't think so. I think if you look back at the start of the week, they had 3 games in 6 days. They were on the edge of the Super 5s, and all of a sudden, I think if you say you win 2 out of 3, I think D-Lee bites your arm off. And it means every game is a different performance. You're not always going to get the high of the Calicut heroes, where Setu makes 24 points, but you've got to try and play your best possible performance, and it just wasn't there in their last game against the Blitz, but I expect them to work towards it again. I mean, Setu's been brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, well, 15 errors in that last game against Chennai, it really cost them. Now, clearly Setu is their plan A. If the opposition takes care of Setu, what's their plan B?
Well, it's interesting because I went over to the coach before the game of Delhi and I said, what are you going to do about Setu's serve? And he said, who? So I think he's got full confidence that he can handle that serve. But you're exactly right. When Setu gets going, it can be game-changing. But I think D-Lee's strategy for this game is to allow 3 servers to be aggressive and 3 to be tactical to reduce those errors, exactly like you were talking about.
Yeah, he said the same to me as well. And I'm really interested to see how Rohit goes in the pass and how Santosh goes in the pass, because I think the one thing they can get to is Delhi's passing this evening.
Lots to talk about. There's also a foreign player that's very quietly performed very well under the radar, is Abin Jaws of the Bengaluru Torpedoes, and here he is talking about Indian players in this league.
My sister was a volleyball player at the school level, so I just used to hang out in the ground while her coach phoned me and asked me to join training. That's how it began. When we look into the PVL, it's one of the biggest stuff to be a volleyball player that's happening in this country. Like before PVL, there was something like Senior Nationals, Federation Cup. After that, something new came up to be the professional league. Something huge that every player would aspire to be in. So that would be an amazing experience. Like everyone would be happy to join it. It's really nice. Good facility, good training, good coach, teammates, good exposure. We can learn from the foreign players. They have a lot of skills that we have missed while we were training. Like from their beginner stages, they have been learned a lot of things that we have been not taught or we have avoided by ourselves because that's maybe not useful for us. With our game standards, which we have seen in our country, and it's not like in foreign countries what they train, so we can get to know about that too.
Well, Bengaluru will have to quickly find their groove, their rhythm against the Delhi Toofans, who are coming off a sensational win against the defending champions, the Ahmedabad defenders, 3-0, and they've won their last 5 games. When they won their first game, truth be told, all of us got a touch too excited and said, hang on, Delhi dark horses surely. Now with 5 wins back-to-back, are they one of the prime contenders?
They absolutely are, and that's exactly what I said to the coach before the game. He said his strategy or what he wanted was just to get in the top 5s, and I said you should be shooting for winning this league because your team is absolutely good enough. You have such a deep bench, a good balance among all these players. I mean, Dodic is finding his rhythm. You've got a Ponza who's the second best blocker. Both those foreigners contributing massively. Anand, best digger of the league with 45, averaging 5 per match. So if you add that to someone like Rohit, who's changing games, and there's just so much on this team to love, I think they have absolutely something to say about maybe winning this league.
Yeah, we spoke to the owners, didn't we, about what's the secret to the success in the first year, and they said, we leave the volleyball to the coach, and you can see that with the way that they've recruited. To have the depth of Anu James, he didn't play last night, he was absolutely superb. Rohit came in, did a stellar job, and my only thing is that you can win the round robin, but it's important that you don't get Delhi belly in the Super Fives.
We're just minutes away from the start, so very quickly, they do have options in setting as well. When Tariq has a bad day, Janshad comes in, and then once Tariq is back in the groove, he becomes their #1 setter.
I said this last year, I think we were the biggest fans of Janshad at Kolkata last year, and now he's riding the bench for Delhi, and I said that to Manoj a moment ago down courtside. I said this guy would get into 3 or 4 other teams as the first choice. And he basically turned around and said, the only reason he's not in is because we believe the block and the defense of Sack Lane is just a little bit more beneficial for the team.
Remember, only 4 games per team. All 5 teams will be playing 4 games against the other teams, of course, and that's how the Super Fives will progress. 2 points for a win, regardless of the margin of a victory. It doesn't matter what the margin is, you still get 2 points. All sets, as it was against in the single round robin stage, will be a race to 15 points. Calicut start with a bonus of 2, and so do Delhi with 1 bonus point as well. Now, these 2 teams did face each other in the single round robin. Delhi beat Bengaluru 3-0. Does that influence your prediction at all?
It does a little bit for me. I think history is always something to be paid attention to. However, D. Lee said, look, we weren't efficient in that game. Our side-out game has gotten a lot better, so I think they're going to be strong. However, my prediction is going to be, again, Delhi. I think they're just so well-rounded. I think they're going to take this 3-2.
I'll take the Torpedoes, baby. All day, every day. Sedu serving. They've got this Mujib comes next. Heptonstall comes next. Pankaj after that from the service line. And as D. Lee said and you've just said, they weren't efficient in that first game. Probably one of their worst performances, like the game against Chennai. I expect them to be much better this evening.
Louis and Key have already mentioned the big stars that will be on court, and so you can pick any of those as part of your Fantasy Akara lineup. Download the app, get your teams ready, and win lots and lots of prizes. We won some free shirts thanks to our wardrobe sponsors. Indian Terrain, a big thank you to them, as well as we gear up for what's going to be a fast and frenetic next 7 days in the 10 matches of the Super Fives. Here's the first one off to tonight. It's the Torpedoes from Bengaluru versus the Toofani team from the capital city. Live action on the other side of this break.
It's time for the Super Fives in the RuPay Prime Volleyball League. It doesn't get much more exciting than this. The Bengaluru Torpedoes, runners-up last year underneath the guidance of American D. Lee, are up against the Delhi Toofans. Maybe the biggest surprise package so far. Well, if you don't know about the Super Fives, each match will be the best of 5 sets. The first team gets 2 extra points. The second team gets 1 extra point coming into the league. If it's 14-all, you have to win by 2 clear. If we get to 20-20, well then it's a sudden death point. If points are tied, the first set difference, and then point difference, the table topper qualifies for the final. Second and third play an eliminator stroke semi-final to meet them. We go courtside now.
And then there were 5 teams that proved that they were a cut above the rest in the RuPay Prime Volleyball League powered by A23 League phase. And so begins the challenge of the Super 5 with the Torpedoes taking on the Toofans. The first team to enter the court is the team that finished second in the league stage. They won 5 on the trot. Can they make it 6? Please welcome the Delhi Toofans!
Here they are, the Delhi Toofans, the newest team in the league that had their sights set on getting the Super Fives. They have blown expectations out of the water, finishing second in the league, already getting 1 point towards those very important final points. Well, they've won 5 matches in a row. They are in very top form, and the balance this team has between Aponza in the middle, Anand in the defense, Sacklane on the set, and some very tough swingers between Dodic and Santosh on the wings. Well, they are going to cause a lot of trouble for the Bengaluru Torpedoes. Let's see how this match unfolds, the first of the Super Fives.
Finalists last season, 4th in the league stage this time around. But a disappointing result last time they took to the court. Looking for a course correction and coming out with a bang. Please welcome the Bengaluru Torpedoes!
The Bengaluru Torpedoes, last year's runners-up, led by captain Pankaj Sharma. A 4th place in the round robin. Some good performances, especially from the baseline, from the likes of Setu, who's the best passer and server in the league. They know on their day they can beat anyone, but on the front court they need to be efficient through Australian Tom Heptonstall, currently the 13th best attacker in the league. Pankaj, the captain, the 17th best spiker in the league, but it's their serving that will see them through, and it will be an interesting matchup this evening for the Torpedoes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we may request everyone to kindly rise for the Indian national anthem. இந்திய நாட்டின் தேசிய கீதத்திற்காக அனைவரும் எழுந்து நிற்குமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்ளப்படுகிறீர்கள்.
पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल गायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
It's the first of the 10 matches in the Super Fives. The team that tops the Super Fives goes through to the finals. The teams at number 2 and 3 play the eliminator. It all kickstarts now with this big clash between the Bengaluru Torpedoes and the Delhi Toofans, who won their last 5 matches. One of those was a win against the Ahmedabad defenders in straight sets. And here's what happened at the toss. Pankaj Sharma, the Bengaluru captain, with the Delhi Toofans this time in whites. Pankaj, a mini celebration After winning the toss, chose the side first. Hey, look now at their starting lineups.
Well, the setter Paulo Lemunier played in Portugal last year, the Brazilian, captained by Pankaj Sharma, who's a great passer, one of the best in the league. Setu, now against the Heroes, the 3-2 win, 24 points, 19 attacks and 5 serves. He's one to look out for. Thomas Heptonstall gets the nod. He's in for Ibn Jose, who's suffering from a stomach bug. Mujib starts in the middle, and there's also no Sarjan Shetty this evening. Jishnu PV comes in for him in the middle. He scored 3 points against the Chennai Blitz. And here's, well, David Lee, the Olympic gold medalist. And this evening, we have the luxury of having his heart rate monitored throughout. Have a look at that. I would say that early rise in the heart rate was having a look at his wife in the stands, who's travelled over here from the USA.
That's why the heart is pumping. Well, I'm excited to see the heart rate monitors throughout the match. But for now, let's learn who's going to be on Delhi's side. The Toofans have put out Ayush through the middle, has been impressive so far in the short time he's been playing. Saklain getting the starting nod at setter. And Santosh on the outside, one of the top scorers in the league. Rohit Kumar gets the nod to start as well. He hasn't had many starting lineup positions so far. Lazar Dodic, the Serbian opposite, the sniper, doing what he always does, and Ponza as well, one of the best blockers in the league. This team looking pretty solid, headed by the coach, Manoj Nair, who is calm as a cucumber when I spoke to him before the match. Let's have a look at his heart rate as well. Resting rate 76.
It's amazing already, this bit of equipment.
I assume he's been married for longer than David Lee has. I wonder if that has any impact. We'll keep an eye on that heart rate as well as this match progresses. Nice crowd building up slowly here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Indoor Stadium in Chennai as we say hello to the two match officials, Mullah Ilya Shalim and Dayanidhi. Delhi in whites to your left. Bengaluru in the purple and yellow. To your right. Delhi start favourites on current form. Bengaluru, if they can hit that reset button and go back to their original ways, watch out, Delhi.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I want to look out for tonight. One is the passing of Rohit Kumar. I think that he's been brilliant and it's going to be interesting to see how he goes. But Setu is going to get us underway. And the Super Fives are ready to rumble here in Chennai. And it's one of the standout players from the opening round to get us underway.
It's the pressure of the Super Fives. The excitement has gone up a few notches. And so has the pressure for these players. He knows all eyes are on him, Setu. Expected to deliver big serves right from the word go. An error to start with. Amal. Big serve straight to the libero. And then very watchful looking performance in this rally. Oh, Delhi start confidently then.
That's a great rally for Delhi. And that's a great serve to start it off as well. We talk about Bengaluru being the serving team, but that was some heat from the end line and good conversation, good communication to step in and set. Delhi looking in good form already.
Yeah, Manoj Nair was speaking to us down courtside, wasn't he? And he said one of the things he's looking at is their serving and improving their serving for the Super Fives, and that's a very good start. Now, if you remember, I think it was the Delhi game where they served short to position 1 against Bengaluru Torpedoes, and it caused them a lot of headache serving short between 1 and 2. And I think they're targeting that area of the court again. But also, I'm interested to see how the pass stands up from the Toofans.
Yeah, they will have gone back and watched a fair bit of video, both these two teams, about what worked, what didn't work, asked both the coaches beforehand. They kept it quite close to the chest. But one of the things that D-Lee did say, and we mentioned it in the pre-show, is that he's given the green light to some of his attackers, some of his servers, and others he's going to let them do sort of be tactical and strategic with their serve. So maybe reducing the risk in that way is going to be really important for Bengaluru.
In the first 4 points, do you guys see a touch of nervousness in these two sides? Are they looking slightly tentative, or is the dramatic side of me trying to overread? Oh yes, well done by Mujib. That will give Bengaluru a bit more of belief.
I've got to say, I think we're seeing two of the best liberos in the league go head to head. Midhun's put that ball on a plate, and you talk about how good that serve is, and Midhun wrestles it in, and Mujib's in the game. I would say there's a few nerves. The one thing that I'm interested about, are Delhi tired from playing last night? And are Bengaluru a little bit fresher as this game goes on? Or are Delhi confident and in rhythm?
If they had lost, would have been a different issue, I think. But they're coming off a win. Although, it's a fair question to ask because they played last night's second game. It was a doubleheader last night, so hardly any recovery.
Yeah, you think about playing late, but even for us, we go home and we can't manage to sleep until 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I know for athletes it's the same and even worse. So what did the sleep look like, the prep, and how do you feel in the morning? There's a lot of variables there.
Now, Thomas Heptonstall has to bring his international experience to the fore now in these big matches. We've already seen a sample of Farnell's acrobatics a few moments ago.
I wonder if Heptonstall is one of those three servers that D. Lee said would have the green light for big serves, because that didn't look like a big one. It looked quite tactical, didn't it?
Dodic with the bird big serve. Heptonstall straight to Anand. Now we're seeing a trend in the opposition teams attacking Anand. Clearly he's the linchpin of the defense. Now if he loses his rhythm, the other teams will fancy their chances.
Well, it's an A23 super spike because Heptonstall had so much space down the line. I'm not sure that he really wanted to go for Anand. It was more a factor of the blockers not being in position to bulk the line.
Yeah, that was an A23 super pass from Midhun because it was in such a good spot that the blockers all brought the bait because it was tight enough. And now there's a block that Mujib set to, and it's a good run for the Torpedoes.
Well, Lazar Donic being denied by Mujib and Setu, that double block. Let's take a look at the angle he went for. Not down the line, not completely cross court. Suppose he was looking for that space between Heptonstall and Pankaj, wasn't to be. 5-4 to Bengaluru, in the lead now, the Torpedoes. In comes the captain, Pankaj Sharma with the serve. Who is he going to target? Flat serve, straight to Anand. Saklen Tariq. Donic! Blocked again! Denied twice!
That's a great bit of blocking by Bengaluru right now to shut him down twice. I just wonder if that ball is way too inside for him. That adjustment not coming quick enough. You see he's ending up in the middle of the court. If that ball gets a little bit more width, he's able to beat the blockers down the line. But right now, they're feeding him to the wolves.
Correct. And I think the pass the last two times from Anand's been too far off the net. And when it's too far off the net, the center's not getting around it. It's showing that it's going to two, so Mujib can just release.
The question though is that, will those two blocks against Donic force Saklen Tariq to think differently? Or does he continue to invest in Lazar Donic?
Well, I think if you're a setter, and I've never been one myself, but I think your job is almost to get the best out of your players and to keep everyone in the game. So if he starts looking away and saying, I'm not going to set you, I'm going to use other things, he might lose it for the entire match, and he has to expect a 3, 4, 5 set match. You cannot give up on any of your players. Oh!
Well, that's one way to score. A touch of luck there, a fortuitous two-pointer. That Indian Oil super serve.
This game is wild. Indian Oil super serve, that man Santosh delivering the goods. And the game flips on its head yet again. And we're only 13 points through.
Santosh, again, this time Midhun's on it. Quick ball to the middle, that's picked up. Dodic on the floor, now it has to go pipe. So well worked by that swing to go off the blockers. Bengaluru knew exactly where that was going. They were in a good position, but a high swing off the hands gets Delhi out of some trouble. We will head to the Cool technical timeout. Just be a short break. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. It's match 1 of the Super Fives. A quick reminder of the Fair Play Award rules, and only one man is qualified to talk about the Fair Play rules in the commentary box. Louis, all yours.
Because I'm the fairest player of them all. Teams earn 10 points per game for sportsmanship and integrity, discipline and respect, which is something we all obviously share daily. Although sometimes it's questionable, isn't it, Keith?
Absolutely not. Fair as fire.
Well, that serve straight to Setu, and he's got to spike it as well. He wasn't quite ready for that serve to come his way, Setu. Not a great bit of reception there from Setu, who I suspect might be in a bubble of his own, wondering what the pressures on himself are and what people are thinking about him.
Yeah, I mean, those are the situations that you don't want to be in as a torpedo with Setu on the outside, because he is undersized on the wing, and he does struggle at times hitting teams or hitting his team from out-of-system situations.
Still haven't seen a spike from Santosh. A big one. Oh, beautifully done. That is a basketball move. Right there from Rohit Kumar. Good to see him in action very early in this big game.
Yeah, now 6-5 up. Midhan misplaces the pass for the first time this game. And you feel that from 6-5 up, they've gone on a 5-point run here, Delhi. And it's a timeout from Bengaluru. And I think it's the Indian Oil Super Serve that's turned it around again.
As Bengaluru have called for a timeout, and a good time for us to remind you what the SBI Super Point is. It can be called for by either teams at or before they hit the 11-point mark. And that Super Point is worth 2. We also saw a serve that was not touched by any opposition player. That is referred to here as the Indian Oil Super Serve, a serve that's not been touched by any opposition player, and it is worth 2 points. Stirs the pot a little bit.
What we also saw on social media today was an NCAA college using the Super Point. There's Lavinia.
And there's her
David Lee's wife.
husband. Lavinia Lee and David Lee.
Expecting their first little one a bit later on this year as well, which is exciting news.
Little Lee. We might want to just get that Instagram account ready.
Not going to be very little though.
6'8", isn't he, David Lee?
Yeah.
Oh my word. Having said that, Key Michael is referred to as Shorty in our team. Hi, Shorty.
Amongst other things.
Oh yeah? What are my other nicknames, Louis? I'm not sure, I want to know.
Not for TV. We'll let that be. Mujib serves straight to Rohit. Sakleen Tariq for Rohit. Boom! No! That block. Not good enough.
I think we're seeing a net touch there. Bengaluru being a little too aggressive at the net. Reaching over, but also reaching in. So we haven't seen a Super Point, an SBI Super Point called yet. I'm surprised David Lee hasn't pulled one out yet. I think there's definitely a touch there on the net. Perhaps Jishnu with his elbow on the way down.
They still can. Both teams can. Either teams can. Lamonia. For Setu. Confusion.
Good speed in the arm from Setu there. He doesn't slow down. He knows he's in a situation that's not to his advantage. Lamia just releases him. 2 blockers and he finds a way through. That's good from Setu. His last 2 swings have come from those sorts of situations, and he's still managing to find a way to score.
Paulo targeting Rohit. And it's just out of bounds from Setu. Was there a touch on the block? Or was there a touch in the net? There's some confusion, some chatter down on court.
Well, that touch being given, Saklane's eyes tells us everything he thinks. Let's have another look. Midhan's in it again. High to the outside. Well, there's a net touch. The question is, did the ball bounce before before Sakhalin Kerak hit the net. You can't argue that Sakhalin hit the net, went through the net, almost had lunch with the net, but
he was certainly fishing. However, was the ball done and dusted? Doesn't matter. Bengaluru gets the point. Godic gets another one for the side of Delhi. And I have a feeling, we talked a little bit about might he be down and out. 2 blocks early on in this set. I don't think so. I think he's the kind of player that is going to be hungry for more. I remember we had him in commentary just a few weeks ago and he said, I don't need a one-on-one. I love swinging against 2 players. I love high hands. I am hungry for earning points, and I think he's going to show that tonight.
And he has a height advantage over Setu there. So I think he'll target the line over the top of Setu every time. We've seen Santosh already hit the pipe over the top of Setu. I was just connecting Santu and Setu if you didn't realise what I was doing there. And over the top of the hands. So maybe they're going to go after the block of this young man. But this is a huge point of this game because we know what Setu can do from behind the service line.
McLean, back set, had to be Afonso, all still in play. Bengaluru stay alive. Anand for McLean, then again Afonso, this time he does the job. This whole combining business is dangerous for me, Louis, because if I combine Ki and your name, it becomes Kiwi. Kiwi.
I was going to say Kiwi. Oh, is that it?
Leaky?
Listen, guys, whatever it is, I have a question for you because if Bengaluru can't get their service going, are they still as strong a team as we think? Meanwhile, Delhi's called for an SBI super point, needs to get 2 here in the pocket, otherwise it's match point.
That point goes Bengaluru's way. Well, how close was that? Well, that man had to give it the full grip for the rebound to land out of bounds. A look again at how this SBI super point panned out. Every stall, giving it everything he had. It came off Afonso, landed outside, and the deficit is now down to just 1. Bengaluru starting to believe again.
Well, we know what Ibn can bring in from the baseline, don't we? He was excellent against the heroes off the bench. It just shows that they have the depth off the bench to make a difference.
Afonso should have done better there. They've given Pankaj a chance, but they blocked very well to Afonso. This time, controls that block really well with Donic to his right. Aligned himself beautifully, great anticipation.
I think one of the things, other than the serving, that defines this Bengaluru side is their consistency in attacking high hands, not swinging low into the block, covering each other, those kind of things that define the team. However, Pankaj there getting blocked because no one was covering him. That's a bad sign for me.
Afonso goes straight to Midun. Lamonia, shot set for Mujib. 2 under pressure, set points down, 2 of them. Bengaluru had the guts and the presence of mind. Where's that heart rate gone? Just a touch higher.
Where did he start? 97, something like that?
Yep, 97 it was.
Whereas on the other side, coach was at 76.
I can assure you that mine's higher than that just sat here.
I do wonder if maybe because Delhi was doing a little warming up before he gets involved in some of the peppering beforehand.
We'll compare Louis Let's heart rate before and after he reaches the buffet table. And with that error, then we have the first set of the first match of the Super 5s. Bengaluru still haven't hit their gear. They still haven't found their groove. Surely they'll come back wiser, stronger, smarter. Second set coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.
Well, this will be interesting. The Delhi Toofans take the opening set. Have a look, less successful spikes, less blocks, but less unforced errors. So the low error game working at the moment against the Bengaluru Torpedoes, but it's very tight.
Yeah, that was one of the big problems when Bengaluru lost versus Chennai. They had 1 ace and 11 service errors. Meanwhile, if you want to have a look at all those, you can dig into those stats on volleyballworld.com. They are our international streaming partner, our exclusive stats rights holder, and it's all there. And I love it.
Yeah, my question going into the second is that if you were to rate these teams so far with their performances out of 10, what would you give them?
Ooh, Bengaluru has had some 11s and 12s. They've also had some 3s. I think Delhi, in general, over the course. Oh, just in that set?
Yeah.
I think Delhi's only had a couple of hiccups there where maybe a ball fell without looking.
So I think that's why I asked the question. So I think Bengaluru are currently a 5 out of 10. And I think Delhi are a 7.5. And that first set was separated by 2 points. So that's where I really feel that this game is interesting, in whether the Torpedoes can sort of raise their game by a couple of notches and see what happens to Delhi.
Well, if anyone can do it, it's this man right here. He hasn't yet hit his stride in the serve, but again, this is what I keep coming back to. On their day, on Set Tuesday, Bengaluru are absolutely the best team in the league. However, without him, are they completely held back?
Yeah, they still have good servers in their roster, that's for sure. And I would say scoring 24 points against Calicut Heroes, that was his best possible performance and probably his best performance ever. So what does that mean with expectation? Do the Torpedoes need him to score 24 points every game, and is that a reasonable ask? I would say no. But do they need him to be at 50% of that, 60% of that? Absolutely they do.
The other question is, should they be starting with him, or do they allow him time to settle in? It's a tricky one for David Lee as well. As we take a look at the Fred Super Block, Hepton Sol has been denied. Alfonso, of course, part of that double block. He's been very active. Yet to see enough magic moments from Santosh. The other question that I wanted to ask you, and we couldn't on the pre-game show, is which team has created more than one option? There are many teams who rely on that one playmaker. We've seen Jerome winning for the Calicut Heroes.
Yes,
Is
Delhi a team that has more than 1 or 2 options?
Yep.
Absolutely. That's something we continue to talk about, the balance on this team. I mean, Rohit's in now, Dodic is getting balls, Santosh is there, Anu James is on the bench. You've also got Janchad to come in and switch things up if need be. All the middles are going to be firing. Like, they just have a little bit of everything.
There's also the Mumbai Meteors. Pipe! Oh, beautifully hit. That was a ripper from behind the 3-meter line. Oh, is that for a gladiatorial move? That is wow.
Good touch from Mujib, free ball though. And that's a very good bit of work to use the pipe in transition when the middle's taken the middle away, and on the second tempo, Santosh comes through. Perfect move.
Oh my goodness, I was watching the blockers get completely taken hook, line and sinker on that set. Sacklade, you absolute monster.
Yeah, and it wasn't the perfect play. It was an easy play, free ball. It was the perfect decision to go to the pipe in that situation in transition.
I mean, you say easy, but some setters will give away where they're going. Some blockers might have read that better, but it just, all things fallen into place. It was just a beautiful play.
Hepton Stall, Ammonia trying to find a way back for the Bengaluru Torpedoes. Sethu hasn't been delivering returns today. A big headache for David Lee. We know we're keeping an eye on his heart rate, but he gives away nothing through his facial expressions. Steely exterior. I've been told he has a heart of gold. Mr. Double Olympic medalist, the Admiral David Lee. Sacklade direct now. Boom.
Yeah, they're not quite finding their service pressure yet. That one's right now 6's throat, which is probably the easiest place to pass from and to have all your options open from. So they're missing a few, and then because of that, the pressure's on the next guy. And when the Torpedoes are playing well, Sethu gets them off to a good start. Mujib has the pressure off of him. then Hepton still has the pressure off of him and things starting to roll. At the moment, they're not getting the ball rolling at all.
I love that reaction after that from Blazer Dodic. This shows that he believed he could fire that in very quickly. Now, the fact that we haven't even spoken about Rohit in the pre-game show, and he's delivered returns today, goes to show that Delhi has a lot of options, a variety for Sakhalin Tariq. Who is he going to this time? He goes to Santosh for the 5, and it's good.
For me, it's an onslaught of offense right now, and you touched on it, Louis, that the pass is maybe making it a little easier. However, Sakhalin has so many options. One of them is A23 super spike from the backcourt. He's using a little bit of everything, and it's really disrupting the blockers. Not to mention Jishnu is in instead of Srajan, and that, you know, that's a lot of pressure on him as well to try and make those blocks.
Bengaluru stay alive, just about, slightly out of system. Anand, Sakhalin, shot set, another point. Delhi are gaining in confidence. They're upping their gear, bit by bit, inch by inch with every point, every rally. A 2-point lead now in the second for the Toofans.
I think one of the important things for Bengaluru at this stage is to continue to have confidence and play together, because it's still just the first game of the Super Fives. There are 3 more to go, and then if they make it to the next stage, they just have to realize it's a long game. If they get pushed aside by Delhi here and they let that affect them, that'll be a different story.
Yeah, the way this game rolls though is they still have a very big chance in getting this back with a few good serves. And we've seen already, as soon as the service starts going, everything comes with it. The efficiency comes up, the blocking levels come up. So they're just waiting to get the ball rolling, but it would be worrying for Delhi because this is similar to the Chennai game where they're in touch, but they're not performing.
Another one for Ayush, the number 5 now. If you look at the Super 5 table, Calicut have 2 bonus points, Delhi has 1 bonus point, and so the other teams have more pressure to do better in the 4 games that they will play. Perhaps a team like Calicut can win 3 and stay at number 1 and qualify. Maybe at 2, play the eliminator and then qualify. Whereas teams like Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Bengaluru have a little bit more pressure than the Delhi Toofans and the Calicut Heroes. Just the way the format has been designed. I quite love the format this year.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Getting that extra point or those extra 2 points could be make or break when it comes down to what position you finish and then who you end up facing off against, if at all. So yeah, it's a very interesting format and a lot riding on every single game.
They can't afford these service errors. They've got to win this set. Well, they trail by 2 against the Toofans as we head into the Amul Cool Technic time. Back to Justin, stay tuned.
We are back, and so are the correct top 5 blockers. Akin still at the top of the list, but Aponza creeping up on him, as is Mujib for Bengaluru. And then Leah from Chennai. No more opportunities to get blocks, but Shamim as well. He's been fantastic for Mumbai.
2 of those 5 not in action in the Super 5s. Those 2 from Chennai perhaps goes to tell us that individual milestones or big numbers don't always necessarily deliver results for the team. Captain Stall just wallops it down at the heart of that Delhi court.
That's a good point for Bengaluru, as Heptonstall's there on the left side. Not his comfortable position, right? When you get an opposite, there's one rotation where he has to play on that outside spot. And I feel like Aponza maybe gave him a little bit extra time, thinking they're probably not going to set out that direction. Got a bit lucky with some space in the block.
Well, they're hanging on in there, Bengaluru, to hopefully open up opportunities like this from Setu's serve. There's one, there's a break point, and that might just give them the confidence to unleash a little bit more through Setu. Oh, hold on. Maybe it's... I thought the decision had gone Delhi's way there, and I think 2 back-to-back points for Bengaluru, but I think this is what they need to do in this competition, is hang in there until the serving does go hot.
Setu, again, a little hotter this time. Still able to swing is Delhi into the block and out of bounds. Puts another point on the board for Santosh and company.
But from home, you can already see the difference that Setu's serve has. They get their hands on the ball. It's a more pressurized position, for Bengaluru than what we've seen previously. So maybe this game's starting to open up.
Delhi will be happy to get him off the line. Santosh now with a bit of pressure on Midhoon. That one coming back to Heptonstall where he loves to be. That's on the right side.
A 1-ton rock has been thrown into the pond. Or would you say pebbles? See?
That was pebbles for Heptonstall. Just one blocker in front of him. RuPay contactless shot because, well, not a heavy lift for him.
Shot set. Now that combo, when it works, it looks gorgeous. Sakil Tariq and Aponza. So much power that Aponza generates even with the shot set. Big muscular man. Aponza from Colombia.
Aponza could be a difference maker as well for this Delhi side. If he's keeping his serves in, doing all the little things, and getting some blocks and attacks, he's another piece of the puzzle that makes Delhi so vicious.
Well, it looks like there's a net judge against the Torpedoes, and that's another dagger for them. It's not quite working, is it? Some of the plays getting better, but Delhi far more consistent, and they're finding a way past the block at times. Let's have a look here, Captain Pankaj. He absolutely goes underneath the net.
2-point lead for the Toofans in the second set. Bengaluru have looked cagey. It looks like they just haven't found that rhythm. Are they overthinking it? Have they overcooked this game in their head?
It's possible. It's possible that all the pressure and the expectation is now starting to weigh on them. I think they're a much better team when they're the underdog. When they come out there firing as if they have something to prove, rather than riding the skirt tails of great performances. Ooh.
Hidden for Pankaj, then the 5 from Setu will get the points. Yes! He believes. Setu has arrived. Has he arrived just in time for the Torpedoes?
Well, the whole game started to arrive here. The dig from Midham, but the service pressure is there. And again, Setu can go to 5 from there, the back right, or he can go that way. It's a great swing. And we're all tied, so we're saying that Bengaluru aren't quite there, but they lost the opening set to 13, and now we're working on side out.
Oh, it's gone up from 76 to 105. We have these heart rate monitors on the 2 coaches tonight for the first time in this league.
That's the first time I've seen it anywhere in volleyball. I'm loving all the innovations in this league. How is it that more people are not adding things like that? I mean, just to see the heart rate of the coaches on the sidelines, that's phenomenal.
Where are the Patorias when we most want them? Would have loved to have one on Mr. Pavan Kumar Patoria.
Yeah, I mean...
His base rate would be 120.
Well, yeah, it could be, but he's got those sunglasses on, so we never really get much of a read off of him.
As a passionate man. Boom! Through that block. Lamonia. For Setu. They keep it in play. There's backup. What about that man? Hepton stole. Oh, for a second I thought he had a touch off the block. Not quite as long. Another point to Delhi. In the lead by 1-2 away from winning the second set. Yes, David Lee will review it. It did look like there was some touch off the block. We'll find out soon.
Big review.
I was going to say, it already looked like a better play from Bengaluru. There was a bit of coverage and they recycled the ball, went again. So Heptonstall, smart to swing high and swing deep. Does he believe there was a review? I'm not sure about that. Or does he believe there was a touch? Because none of the players were asking for a review, and usually they get very passionate.
Well, let's have a look. High from Heptonstall. Rohit's right in his face. Oh, it's a field goal.
Through the arms. I don't see a touch.
Very close.
And I think that's what Heptonstall's face was telling me as well after he contacted it and turned around.
Tough to say from that angle. Even with a magnified view. They've gone through Rohit's hands. Oh, can't really tell from that angle, can we?
Well, it's good that we've got cameras from both angles, side and front and back. But I'm not in the decision-making chair. However, I have my opinions. I'll keep it to myself. For now, it's an unsuccessful review by D. Lee. So Delhi keep the point.
Well, there's a change here as Rohit comes off Ammo. I like this way that they're playing. They're keeping their best passer on the backcourt. They're bringing in their more attacking, offensive 4 players. They've got 4 players who can play through 4, which is the outside spiker role, which is some depth.
If I remember correctly, Amal Thomas had an indie roll super serve last night. A very slow, tactical serve that. A push 10 to completely confuse or flummox Delhi. That man goes big and hits it long. It was a battle of patience, really. Delhi lose 1 point and it's 13 apiece now in the second.
I've got to give credit where credit's due here to Delhi. They've served short to both sides of the court, and every time when you go short on Setu, as an undersized outside, he's going to struggle and he's going to come underneath the ball more, and he's going to lose some angles turning into the cross court. It's a very smart serve, and when they do it the other way, to position 2, the front right of the Bengaluru court, that also works incredibly well for them.
I don't think Delhi will be too concerned about that ball going long. It looked like a great set from Anand as well. And they're kind of just playing into this role of letting Bengaluru make the mistakes at the moment.
Set point. Remember, it's a race to 15. Jishnu comes in for Aydin Jose. Gets a high five from David Lee as Ayush Kasniya, the number 5, gets set to serve. Set point now. Avoid the error, put the ball in play. Who is he going to? Midun? The control serve straight to Setu, then Lamonia. Setu again. And he gets it. Remember, it's got to be a gap of 2 once the score's hit. 14 apiece now. It's no more a race to 15.
Well, it's interesting they put that ball right on Setu because he has the most good receptions in the stats of any player. However, he also has the most errors there. He's given up 13. He's been aced 13 times. However, a soft serve like that's going to be right in his wheelhouse way too easy.
Lamonia. Tariq. Aponza. Always good. It takes 2 to tango when those 2 do. Saklin Tariq and Aponza. Usually is happy days.
Yeah, that ball's just in too good a zone. If the service pressure, it's always saying here, if the service pressure isn't high enough from the Torpedoes, that's what happens to you. So that's why they go full risk, to avoid those situations.
Set point Delhi. Drop it on Setu again. Great handling. Ball's up, stays. Anand underneath it. Back to Dodic, who swings. Not down yet. Paolo outside tip. Heptonstall gets it in play. Good work to keep the ball alive.
Yeah, I would still say we're not seeing the best of the Torpedoes yet, but they're still there against Delhi. And their serving hasn't been as strong or as accurate as we've seen previously. Heptonstall's really comfortable on that left side.
You know, I love how Bengaluru players look at David Lee after winning a point. They look at him for validation. And just that nod from the Admiral makes their day. Such as David Lee's impact on these young players. Anand sets it beautifully for that spike. Anand is not just a libero, that man is a Swiss knife. He can do it all on court.
And you can't see on the TV, but his celebration to the fans is ridiculous. Lee's heart rate up to 108. Bit of pressure. And I think that was a huge moment because Setu was serving. They got themselves a chance of making a defense. They didn't make the defense. Delhi did a very good job. Dodic has done a fine job.
Once again, straight to Setu for Lamunia. Then Heptonstall pushes it, but the blockers were ready this time. They align themselves again. Rohit has been so hot in the block. This time it's the other combo. And there was a touch. Dodic and Afonso combine. Delhi, will they review it? I think they thought about it.
I don't think they will. Dodic put his finger up immediately. I wonder if he's looking for that fair play award.
Yeah, that's a good start, isn't it? That's what we're here for, fair play.
Ooh, he is up to 111.
That means good fortune, doesn't it? All the ones.
Triple Nelson.
He's up 35 points. Wild.
Set point again. Afonso will usually deliver. He has become Saklendaric's go-to man. Not Santosh. Not so much Dodic after the first set.
And for good reason. I mean, he's making so much space. You see Jishu there, hanging with him, trying to time it well, but because he's running a little far from the setter, there's just so many angles he can use. He just chooses to go 6 in that position.
Another set point. Afonso. Hit to Medon, Lamunia for Heptonstall, goes long. That error is going to be very, very costly for the Torpedoes. If they have to win their opening game of the Super 5, it has to be in 5. Because the Toofans have gone up 2-0.
Brilliant game developing the Toofans. Excellent last night. The question from us is, could they come out 18 hours, 20 hours later and do it again? That's exactly what they're doing. They lead the Torpedoes 2-0, 18-16 in the second. Time for a quick break from us.
Well, what a set that has been. Give it up for Delhi Toofans. Okay, I've got Superfans right here. Welcome back to Season 3 of RuPay Prime Volleyball League, powered by A23. It's time for the Indian Terrain Volley Trivia. But before, let's meet our Superfans. They're already wearing the jerseys. I'm going to ask your name and who's your favorite player?
My name is Pratik and my favorite player is Anand, jersey number 2.
Okay, who's your favorite player in Bengaluru? What is your name?
My name is Nivita Shri. My favorite player, Ramonier, jersey number 1.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Whoever answers first will get Indian Terrain gift coupon. The mic is going to be the center, so answer it quickly. So let's see. Which Delhi Toofans player is among the top 3 scorers in the league at this moment? Afonso, wrong answer. Or a Delhi player? Anu James, wrong answer. Okay, it's Santosh with 87 points, and he's in the 3rd place.
Well, it's a close one, but it's the Delhi Toofans that lead 2 sets to 0. Look at the successful spikes. The errors are the difference at the moment, although the Bengaluru Torpedoes have minimalized them a little bit from the opening set, 2 blocks apiece.
The thing that stands out to me is that 0 in the service column from Bengaluru. That is one of their strengths, and they cannot access it right now. Someone else who's strong in all areas, Blobby, Nippon Paint mascot.
Yeah, I mean, Blobby was down for the count yesterday, flat on the floor, and now he's resurrected again.
That's what Bengaluru is going to try to do here. 2 sets down, have not really tapped into their serving strength just yet, but we've seen them pick it up as matches progress. Question is it too little too late now in the 3rd?
Setu has to get going now. Now is the time. Big serve needed. Straight to Anand. No super serve. Stuck lane for Dodic. That combo didn't work in the 1st set. Will it work now? Pipe. It works. That was a diamond from behind that 3-meter line. That man's come to the party now. Is he their go-to man for this 3rd set? Will this be the final set?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like about this performance from Delhi, is they can score from anywhere, and that's 3 in a row that Santos has scored on the pipe. He has a very good kill ratio.
And you saw how he had to create that angle for himself. He had to get back, go for the approach, give himself some space, so he's just making sure he's available in the offense. Sakhlane has a wealth of offensive riches right now.
Yeah, brilliant again. Anand's right in the middle of it. Great touch from him. Seeing the tip from Setu. Setu loves that tip before on the pipe. And in turn, there's just a miscommunication. I think Setu going for the ball got in the way of Midhun's eye line.
Anand's a little Superman.
He is very impressive. He reads the game so well.
Is that a good nickname? Little Superman?
I don't know if he would love that, but...
Mini Superman.
Superboy? How old is he?
21. Give or take a year? I don't know, 21 I think.
What would be my nickname?
Unmentionable on air.
Bad.
Anand. Sakhlane for Aponza. No, it is for Santosh. So then Sakhlane, I think, has activated Plan Santosh in this 3rd set. Clearly, a hat-trick of points for Santosh. How good is he?
He's been having a great day at the office. And again, it all starts with that first contact. In this case, it's from Anand again. And Sakhlane just really making it difficult for the blockers.
Santosh is on the verge of a big milestone. He's at 97 total points. Can he notch up that magic number tonight here in the opening game of the Super 5s?
And what a story for him. He won the league last year with the defenders. He's come over here to Delhi this year and he's just been their star go-to man. And I still think, well, the defenders are certainly missing him as well.
Pankaj. Oh, he didn't have to dig that. I think that was an error. And that was surely going long from Pankaj Sharma. Did not have to do that.
So big news is that Ibn started on that right side. Heptonstall's been subbed off, so it's the same team that finished against the Heroes and lost against the Chennai Blitz on the 8th of March.
Delhi have continued to dominate this game right from the word go. And they won 2 sets in the third. Now Bengaluru need a wave of aggression. And the number of errors has been shocking as well.
Yeah, they just haven't got their game going, just like Chennai. They've not got their service game going. And that unlocks so much for them.
Dodic, another one who's been having some success from the end line, and he hasn't seemed to find it either. So maybe it's both these two teams struggling in the serve today.
If Delhi do win tonight, they will go top of the table, above Calicut, who finished number 1 at the end of the league stage. Delhi have 1 bonus point because they finished at number 2. So if they win tonight, they can add 2 more to that. So with 3 points, they go top of the table. Calicut as well have a chance to go top of the table when they play the second game tonight against the Mumbai Meteors.
Just want to make a quick point here. This is probably the 4th or 5th time this has happened. They have served in, the block's gone across, and they can't quite make it count. That's a block out, but I think that was close. What I'm saying is when they do get into those situations of serving in, they can't quite finish the block. They can't quite take advantage of the situation they own from the baseline.
Santosh. Once again, it's part of their plan to go straight to Midun, but Mujib kills it. Now that Lamonia-Mujib combo, I think has been underused.
Well, it's hard to use the middle until you get balls like that, so he's a little bit off the net, and even there, that's a little bit risky. It's a RuPay contactless shot as Mujib beats that outside blocker, but I don't think Paolo's going to be able to use that too much further from the net because it just becomes riskier and riskier.
I suppose it's all about reception then. Touch of the block, but that lands exactly where Rohit wanted it to. And that's inside the court to keep Delhi in the lead. 6-5 it is in the third now. They're looking a lot more relaxed, a lot more confident. You can almost, the belief is palpable on the Delhi side of things.
Yeah, great work from Rohit. He has that mismatch against Paolo, the setter. I think that's when they do take pace off the ball and they don't serve tough. The fact that they've got small blockers in Setu and Paolo, or smaller blockers, they both get over. But they're a lot more effective when the other team is served out of system and is setting the ball from off the net. So it's all a big balancing act, but they have to get their serving going soon, Bengaluru.
I think when the serve is not on for Bengaluru, a lot of the other weaknesses get exposed.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Yeah.
That's the one that's one of them. But other ones are coming to the forefront, maybe, you know, in the defense and in the smaller attackers. There again, trying to go against a 3-man block of Bonza at the center of it. There's not really much set you can do when that ball's high and slow.
Yeah, but when they're off the net, they're in trouble. When the opposition are on the net, they're in trouble. And Aponza, look at that. And Sacklane's getting stuck in as well. Go on, Sacklane.
Tetu is having a bit of a nightmare tonight. Sacklane Tariq recovers and his team allows him enough time to go back into position. The double block, that big threat forced that man Ivan Jones to hit it long. As Delhi once again in the lead as we head into the Amul Cool technical timeout. 8-5 to Delhi. Back in just a bit.
Well, here are the A23 top 5 spikers. Jerome Benita and Calicut has been sensational, especially the last 2 games. But there's Santosh from Delhi catching up quickly. And a bit later on this evening, we have Shubham Chowdhury and Amit. Hey, have a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. The RuPay VIP box, the best seats in the house for what's been a good show from Delhi.
Well, Delhi playing fantastic. However, I don't think too much credit can be given. Bengaluru are giving away points left and right. That's the second swing out by Ibin. And combine that with, I think, 9 missed serves so far. Couple of net touches, they're just not looking like themselves, and it's very easy for Delhi right now.
Bengaluru going all in. They've called for the SBI super point. Now, if it goes their way, the deficit comes down by 2 and 2-2. If not, Delhi go up by 6. No, it worked! Setu delivers! The kill on that occasion goes past that double block. It's 9-7 now.
Do you feel, as we have a look at the FBI super points secondaries in, the Bengalurus play their best, the Bengaluru Torpedoes play their best volleyball when their backs are a bit against the wall. So, like, maybe losing the first game might be the rocket that they need to come back and feel like their backs are against the wall and they need to come out firing.
Yeah, that's more like it. They need a lot more of that. You can see that in their celebration of that point. The triple block denying Delhi a point. The deficit is now down to 1. Wasn't a bad shot at all from Rohit. Gave it the full rip. Wasn't to be. The door was shut on him now. I've got news for you, Louis. Bengaluru play again tomorrow evening. If they lose tonight, it will be that much more of a laborious drill for them to turn up again and play. Ahmedabad was also searching for a certain groove. Santosh couldn't spike. That pipe wasn't to be. Setu has been blocked. Or has he?
Then that came down the Ponza's side. Torpedoes are back all square. There's a little bit of life left in this one yet. Yeah, it's interesting to play back-to-back because what we've seen from Delhi tonight hasn't really affected them as much as I thought it would. And maybe the Torpedoes need to play in a little bit of rhythm.
Can they find the confidence from somewhere other than the serves? Because that's a big swing from Setu we just saw.
Wonder what the inner dialogue is for Bengaluru. Oh, beautifully hit. That was a mighty hit. Incredible swing from Santosh for his 99th point in this league. 88th attack point. Just one shy of a magnificent 100, that man.
An 83 super spike. Santosh has been absolutely brilliant from the backcourt. He's been the go-to on that pipe all night long. And I feel like that's the linchpin. That's the missing piece that Bengaluru haven't been able to access. They haven't had any backcourt attacks.
I feel like that serve is a little bit too soft inside from Paolo. He put his hand up to say sorry afterwards. Serve Rohit completely in system, then the pipe was open. But if you look at the scores here, guys, this is why I love this game, because we're talking a lot about Delhi playing really well and Bengaluru not being themselves. Every set at this point has been pretty much tied.
Yep, it hasn't been a blowout, and so one wonders if Bengaluru have really played that badly. Have Delhi been that good? Because the intangible difference is evident, and yet the scores don't really paint the correct picture. Another block tap long.
I think exactly the point that Louis is trying to make is that they're not playing their best. However, they're not being blown out. So when Bengaluru do step up and play the games like we've seen them, like this, in system, swinging high off the hands, they're going to be on another level. And will Delhi then be able to keep up?
11-10 in the third in a must-win set for the Torpedoes. Let's take a look at the Indian Oil MVP leaderboard. Who knows? Santosh might climb into or crawl into this top 5 list. Jerome Benita of Calicut will be on court in a while from now against the Mumbai Meteors, who've got 2 of their men on the leaderboard, Golia and Chaudhary. That deadly duo.
This is a big moment for Deely. Well, have a look at that. Setu gets his serves in, and Deely's heart rate all of a sudden goes back down to 95.
All is well once Setu gets his serves in.
Well, Safir in an animated conversation with the head of operations of the RuPay Prime Volleyball League, Alvin. I can promise you, Safir will be down in the stands when the Red Army arrives. And the kids here cheering for that man, Triple S. Super server Setu. Is this the magic moment? Not really. Difficult when it's Anand on court. A block. Aponza, Tariq, Donic, it's good! A salute from Laser Donic. That was a luscious shot.
Huge pass from Anand there, and a big swing from the man, the right side there for this rotation on the left, because that gets Setu off the service line.
I want to see this celebration afterwards, some choreography between him and Anand. It's past, but that was probably the cutest thing I think I've seen all day.
11 apiece now. Good serve. Bengaluru need to hold their nerve. Midun pushes it across to the other side. Saklen Tariq for Donic. That's good. That's even better. From zone 2, Donic believes. And a chest bump with the little Superman. Ooh, Delhi. Ooh, that is a Toofani moment.
Donic is just improving through this season.
I'm thinking they're like a Batman and Robin combination more than Superman. He and Anand are having some fascinating interactions after the point. Well, Bengaluru's taken a timeout. No surprise there. We're on the verge of heading into the final points of this third set. Meanwhile, we'll have a look at the Amulpool Emerging Player nominees. Anand right there at the front. This is players that are less than 25 years old, have never represented their country. Can you believe Shirag is on that list? Nanda is on this list. I mean, Shahjan, who's not here today, plays for Bengaluru. These are some big names, some impressive players that have never been on the national team.
Well, two of our important guests.
Now, Louis, you've been coaching on and off as well, and Key, you've played at the highest level. What should these youngsters or all other Indian players be looking to do once this league is over? Is there something that they can do for themselves on their own?
I think the key is to just play as much volleyball as possible. So I get this message a lot, people writing to me, how do I go play pro volleyball? And my answer is always, just be the best volleyball player you can. Get as many touches as you can. Get in the weight room, get strong, and keep that fitness year-round. That's the best thing you can do.
In terms of working on their skill, are there things that you would recommend?
I believe that you need to find the best environment that you can. So you need to go and find the best coach, you need to go and find people who have been there, done it, got experience, and then you need to go and learn the game as much as possible. I think the Torpedoes actually have one of the best academies being built at the moment here in India for trying to develop a process around that.
Oh, he was going for the big 100, Santosh. And the door has been shut on him. Bengaluru once again in the lead by 1.
Big moment, a big swing to get that break point. 2 back-to-back points, and they've now taken the lead. That could be huge in terms of where this set goes. Again, they just took that time out. Some conversations with Deely and his team, putting them in a good place now. They cannot afford to lose this set, obviously. If they lose it, match is over.
Also, I suppose for the youngsters, stay in touch with your Prime Volleyball League coach. Maybe coaches will design programs for these young players for the next 9 months or 10 months before they regroup for season 4. Once again, clean hit. That's good. Delhi believe.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Manish. Like, having watched Bengaluru train and spent 4 or 5 days there, I was sat there in the Predacon and Dravid Academy, thinking if you could do this every day in this environment, players would get so much better, so much quicker. So good up there.
No, just gave it too much. Just did not work. I mean, Joes hasn't really found his zone tonight. He's looked uneasy all evening long. And that gives Delhi a match point, but then David Lee wants to challenge it. I don't think there's enough conviction in David Lee calling for that challenge.
No, and I think there's frustration because there's been a misswing from even at this close point. Heptonstall in the last set out the back. They've given themselves chances to score, and if you think every set so far has gone to overtime, and it's ended on a spiking error or a serving error from Bengaluru Torpedoes to give the set to Delhi.
Yeah, here's a look at the review, but I think it's going to be in vain. The question is whether or not there's a touch. I don't see any fingers moving.
It goes against Bengaluru, it will be match point for the Delhi Toofans. Tough to say from that angle. Yeah, maybe the magnifier will help. Tricky. I wouldn't want to be in that TV ref's chair. The hot seat.
I thought you were singing a song then. It's tricky. You know that one? No.
Well, if this ball is out, that'll be only 1 point that Ibn has scored and 3 errors. So coming in off the bench for Heptonstall hasn't really done his job there. Match point now for Delhi.
Remember, Bengaluru play Ahmedabad tomorrow evening. The single-header night in the Super 5s at 6:30 p.m. Very important for Delhi to close it here. And they will have to try harder because Bengaluru saved this one. Ooh, nervous moments for both teams.
That is so good from Bengaluru. That is under pressure to tip. And I wonder if that was a tip because they were forced to or if it was tactical. Either way, finding a way to get to the floor. Ooh, a substitution on Delhi's side. Fresh setter, fresh legs.
116. And David Lee's situation, more or less, 83.
Wow.
There you go. Cool under pressure.
He's calmer now than he was at the beginning of the match.
Two opposites on Ibn serving and Heptonstall's come on. So there's no setter on the court, but they're looking for a block. Midden or somebody has to take that. It's Heptonstall, but it's a free ball over. Surely Delhi with a wave. How's it going to go? It's wide off the antenna. And, well, Delhi have opened the door here of a free ball situation. They try and run wide and fast. It's too wide. It's too fast. And Santos goes into the antenna.
Santosh, who hasn't made a mistake the entire match. Maybe 1 or 2 that I can remember, and it's on match point that he hits the antenna.
Yeah, for me, that was
a huge bit of luck there.
That was the set, though, being a bit wide. It's very difficult for him.
If Bengaluru win this set, they will be a different beast in set number 4. I can promise you that. Still in play. Mujib to Anand. Chance now for Delhi to come back. Will they? Dodge. The push. Still in play. Delhi stay alive. Santosh! Oh, it's been half blocked. Setu, no, it's Pankaj. Not in position. What a strange rally this is. Bengaluru will try again. Not in position. Delhi's defenses are being tested. Dodge!
What is going on here?
Unreal. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
What a rally. I mean, things are going back and forth faster than I've seen in a long time. That should have been done and dusted by Delhi perhaps 1, 2, 3 rallies ago, and finally they have to get it done there. Dunnage working so hard.
And it's another block out. And did anybody else see Setu come up from position 6 and set the middle to Mujib? Wild.
Scores level. Ibn Joes It's it well, still in play. Santosh almost got his point number 100. It is point number 100. A century for Santosh. A big smile on his face. Says it all for that man. And also allows his team to get their second match point.
Yeah, that's why they had Heptonstall on to try and put the block up through that avenue. They've done a good job in those situations, just understanding that they have a mismatch to go off the top of their hands.
Big swing, big opportunity. Free ball again. Can they put it away this time off the hands? Yes, they do. Delhi getting it done in 3 sets. What a performance by the boys in white.
Well, Delhi are at it again. With a little bit of fire in their belly, they've defeated the Torpedoes 3-0 in what was close sets, but a very good and solid performance overall. And if you thought a good performance in the round robin was a fluke from Delhi, that is certainly not the case.
This Delhi side is proving they are hungry for some victories. Here's how that last point went down the block. Just touched to keep in play, a scramble situation, but a second time giving a free ball on match points was not going to go astray for Delhi. Santosh getting his 100 points and a big smile on his face. Head coach Manoj Nair, I wonder what his heart rate is right now, but it won't be. That's the 6th win in a row for Delhi. They are on an absolute roll and a rumble here. We're having a look at some of the stats and the errors. Bengaluru gave up 16 of them to their opposition. That is going to be something that bites them, and they'll have to control that a little bit better going forward. They'll know it. They'll go back to the drawing room for another match tomorrow night. Delhi, well, they'll have a little bit of a rest. Coming off this victory puts them in a good position with that 1 point they already had for finishing second in the league. Well, there's much more volleyball coming your way, another match later, and we have the presentation coming up. Come back for that after this short break. Well, it was the first match of the Super Fives, and it did not disappoint. We knew coming into this it was going to be a big one for Delhi, who already had 1 point in the pocket for finishing second on the table. Bengaluru looking for a win. Last time these two teams faced off, it was 3-0 for Delhi, and the first set looked as though they were ready for a repeat. A few big swings on both sides. However, the errors creeping in on Bengaluru's side. 9 service errors in total, not a single ace. And that was the one from Santosh that did the damage to put things over the edge for Delhi. That first set, they had things in hand. They ended up winning that one 15-13 with some scrappy defense and big plays at the net. An all-round performance by Delhi. Moving on into the second, it got pushed into overtime, where Bengaluru were not going quietly. Heptonstall finding a bit of rhythm there on the right side, but ultimately again, Santosh doing most of the dirty work for Delhi's side in that third set, which finished 17-15 after the second one went into overtime, 18-16. It was do or die for Bengaluru. We saw a little more serving pressure, but it just wasn't enough. A free ball was the final punch for Delhi, and they got the first win, 3-0, a repeat of the league stage performance. Well, the first W on the board then for these teams. And here's how they did it. I'm looking at the errors, 19 given up by Bengaluru. They're gonna have to go back and have a little look at that, think about what they can change differently. 9 of those errors coming from the serve. Well, Delhi will be happy with that. However, a couple of players standing out to us. We're heading down to Atish sideline, who has a couple of the players to talk to.
Can anybody stop them? The Delhi Toofans seem to be aboard a freight train that goes beyond every station, taking a piece of it. This is their 6th straight victory in a row. It seems like they slept on the court last night, woke up and decided to defeat the Bengaluru Torpedoes again. And now in the Super 5, in the first match itself, they've registered a few points to their kitty, along with the solitary bonus point that they won last time around. And in the presentation party to my left, representing the Bengaluru Torpedoes is Mr. Vipin Nair, the co-founder and joint MD of Baseline Ventures. Representing the Delhi Toofans is Ms. Pooja Sethi, the general manager of the team. And representing RuPay is Mr. Atish Jain, general manager, Baseline Ventures. The first award is the Game Changer of the Match award. And it goes to the man we fondly call the dancing devil, although we didn't see him dance too much on the court today. It goes to Daniel Aponza. Only once did he decide to bring out the moves today, and that was in the third set. But given the gravity of the game, perhaps, he knew what was at stake, didn't want to celebrate, was all about the business. Right, Dan Aponza, the game changer of the match, but the big award is the player of the match award. Now, this athlete scored his 100th point in the RuPay Prime Volleyball League by hitting the winning point in this match. It goes to Santosh for yet another brilliant performance. 12 attack points and 1 Indian Oil Super Serve today. Santosh yet again leading his team from the front. He's also awarded the RuPay on-the-go watch to experience hassle-free payments. This is the 3rd player to have reached 100 points in totality after Jerome Vineet and Shubham Chaudhary in the league. He also has to sign the match ball for our esteemed guest for today, Mr. Atish Jain, the general manager of Baseline Ventures. A souvenir to take home. Oh, Delhi Toofans, you're a thunderstorm that refuses to be stopped. And why so? Another brilliant performance by them. They've started off their Super 5 really, really well.
A 3-0 win for Delhi over Bengaluru, and it was this man right here, the RuPay player of the match, Santosh, who got himself 100 points here today, and he helped the team win with 14 on the court today. 13 of them came from attacks and 1 in the serve. He got one of those Indian Oil Super Serves to get things started in the first set. He was phenomenal. Front court, back court, that pipe was absolutely firing with Saqlain.